Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Demo Mondays. Demo Mondays is a video series presented on Mondays where me, Augustas Kligis, I'm inviting Amazon seller software founders and creators, and I'm asking them to present their software just here on the screen. And my next guest is Amachete. And Amachete is presented by the founder, Phil McCarty. Hello, Phil.
Hey, Gustas. How are you doing today?
All good. Thanks for being here. And could you shortly introduce Amachete? What is it about and what problem does it solve for Amazon sellers?
Amazon Shetty. Amachete. So basically what it does is it helps Amazon sell, that's what everyone does. It helps people manage their Amazon business. And it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. It does, 15, 20 different things. But it's for both beginning, intermediate, and advanced sellers that want to kind of streamline their processes and do all that kind of, fun stuff you don't really want to do, but you have to do, because if you don't, you'll die penniless on the streets.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you already answered my next question. What are your target users? So you say it's for the beginners and for the advanced ones. And what marketplaces are you covering with Amachete?
So right now we cover North America, which is United States, Canada, and Mexico. We also cover UK, France, Italy, Spain, Germany. We also do Japan, and I'm just, even as we speak, not literally as we speak, but this week I've been adding support for Australia. We'll have estimates for that pretty soon. And we also support India. So basically everyone except Brazil, I think, is the one FBA marketplace that I haven't just gotten around to.
Mm-hmm. And Amachete probably is working the best when you link your Amazon seller account. It's correct?
Yeah. I mean, there are certain things you can do without, it's kind of like a car, right? Like if you have a car and you don't have gas in it, I guess you can do stuff with it. Like if you're just like sitting in it and listening on the radio or whatever, but it's a lot better if you have gas, or if you drive a Tesla, electricity, because then you can actually like go places and do things. So yeah, the best Amachete experience is one where you actually connected it to Amazon.
And whenever you connect to your Amazon account, how fast do you pull the initial data from your account?
That's a good question. A lot of that depends. It's per user and it's per account. So if you have sold 3 things ever, you'll get your data kind of within seconds. Whereas if you started selling back when Bezos was just selling books, it might take, a couple hours. So, but never more than like 2 or 3 hours, really.
All right. And I think we can keep going with the presentation of your tool.
Cool. Before we get into the presentation, I want to just show you a little bit of the slideshow I pulled together, because I feel like a lot of these things launch where a person's like, and here's feature number 1, and like you don't know who this person is or what they're about or where they're coming from. They just kind of like emerge from some like Amazon seller like software like graveyard where they're like, oh, I've got stuff for you. So can we switch to the presentation so I can walk you through a little bit about who I am and where I'm coming from? It'll contextualize the software just a little bit.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let me show you a little slideshow. So first of all, I grew up here, Gainesville, Florida. It's where the Gators are from. And then I moved here, Charlottesville, Virginia, for college. Charlottesville lately looks a lot like this, but most of the time it looks like this. It's much more peaceful than this, but it's, we all have our ups and downs, right? I recently moved here, Southern California, to Los Angeles, where I was working for a startup called Nasty Gal. I don't know if you've seen the TV show Nasty Gal or read the book Girl Boss, and I was doing like a lot of computer support stuff for them. I also moved out here because I love like living in LA is the best because you get to go to movies. I recently went to the Black Panther premiere, which was super fun. I met Snoop Dogg. He's super cool. I met Lupita Nyong'o, who was the star of Black Panther. It's just a little bit of like backstory, right? But as I was working for Nasty Gal, I realized that this company, I was there for a lot of the kind of rise and fall. I don't know if you follow the news at all, but the company kind of folded. And so at the beginning, it felt like we were on top of the world. Like everything was the best that was going to happen. And then, but I saw that this was going to end poorly. So I started looking for better ways to make money. And I also kind of hate having a job. And I discovered Amazon FBA, and pretty quickly I learned that the biggest opportunity in FBA was international, not domestic. So I started selling in Germany and Japan, and had great success there. And I'm 2 years deep into this Amazon scene, and no, 3 years. And I have to say, I have super, super mixed feelings about it. How do you like it, I guess? Do you like overall? How do you feel about being in the Amazon world?
No, it's wavy. It's interesting. It's dynamic, but it's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. It's absolutely wavy. One thing that I don't care for is the fact that if I put my email address in any person's field or form to sign up for something, it's the first day you get one email, you're like, oh, this is nice, they're sending me an email, they tell me about some great offer they have, and then the next day you get 5 million offers. You're like, oh, this is okay, this is starting to be a bit much. And then you have to move and leave your house because there's so much mail from every FBA marketer in the entire world, and it feels like every person is this guy, and they're just trying to get your money by selling you snake oil. And it feels like every person is either selling some kind of course or some kind of service. And I realize that I am also selling some kind of service. And it's just, it's a rough deal. Right. And the thing that this is just kind of a public service announcement. Guys, don't fall. This doesn't benefit me at all. Don't fall for fear-based marketing. You'll run into a lot of this in this world. And there's a popular one called the pressure cooker, where you try to imply scarcity or urgency, and you're like, this is a deadline, it's an expiring offer, and blah, blah, blah. And the people will use loaded words like don't and opportunity. And I just got this email the other day from someone, a big seller in the scene, and the email subject was don't miss this opportunity, which is such a loaded and twisted thing to do to a person. It's don't miss this. It's the most all these words in your face, and it triggers your fight or flight reflex, and you don't want to be left out. But the implied message is your life is going to be terrible. No one's going to ever love you ever unless you give me $100 a month forever. And I think all this kind of fear that gets inserted into the Amazon scene kind of creates a sense of paralysis analysis. Right? Actually, that should be analysis paralysis, but it works both ways. It's a palindrome. And you get a situation where a person wants to just launch an LED light, but they spend their entire life worrying about LED lights, right? And die on the vine thinking about LED lights. And I really think Amazon should be fun. It should be learning to ride a bike. How old were you, Augustus, when you learned to ride a bicycle? Do you remember?
I don't know, a few years old, maybe about 5 or 6.
5 or 6. And did you ever use one of these when you were riding a bike?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay. Most people, when they ride a bike, they I wouldn't put it past you. You seem pretty skilled. You fall, you screen your knees, and then you get up and you learn to ride a bike again, right? I think that's kind of the real way to learn Amazon isn't to worry so much about launching and finding the perfect product. It's about just launching any product. And failing is failure is a much better educational tool than perfect execution, if that makes any sense. If you execute something perfectly, especially if it's by accident, you don't take much from it. Whereas if you execute imperfectly and you stumble and you trip and you fall, you kind of figure things out. And so if there's one thing I could everyone who watches this take away from this is, hey, just launch anything. Launch yoga mats. It'll fail, but you'll learn so much launching yoga mats, right? It's better than waiting for this perfect thing. So when someone says you don't miss this opportunity, don't let that fear thing kick in. You're learning to ride a bike. It doesn't have to feel like this. It's this, right? There's nothing terrible that will happen if you spend $500 on stretch lids. My other number 2 thing that I dislike about the scene is I feel there's a lot of price gouging in the Amazon world. I use Mailgun to send emails from my clients, right? And you can go to that website right now, mailgun.com, and type in how many messages you send, how many emails you send, and it'll tell you what it costs to send those emails. Just for shits and giggles, I typed in, what would it take to send 150,000 emails? What is that operational cost? Turns out that cost is $70. That's what the programmer would pay to email 150,000 emails. So then it makes sense that there are all these people like springing up and selling email services for like $40 a month and $60 a month for 1,000 emails and crap like that, because they are literally like, there's no desire there to like pass that savings on to the FBA people. It's more of a desire to like squeeze them for as much as they possibly can. $70 goes a long way. That's 150,000 emails. If you have a 2-email sequence, that's 75,000 sales a month. That's 30 days in every month. That means you'd have to be selling 2,500 items a day before you are cutting into the cost of that email sequence. And again, I just feel like there's just this desire to like be Scrooge McDuck and like swim around in money. And like, you know, I get it. Like, we all love money. I love money too. I want it, but I don't, you know, think that I want it at the expense of everything else. Does that make sense? This next slide. All right. This slide is to remind me that I am very long-winded, and if I keep going, I will turn it into Demo Tuesday because we run around the clock. So this is my reminder for myself to switch over back to the regularly scheduled program. But all this is just a build up to say that I tried to build Amachete instead of using like the very capitalistic approach of like, how much can I make? And get ready, this is going to sound super touchy-feely and like Oprah, which is fine because Oprah's great. And the question I kind of ask myself is like, how much can I give, right? Like, how much can Amachete do for people and it's still profitable for me, and not what's the barest, smallest, most sliver of a feature that I could squeak out onto the marketplace and then charge people $100 a month for. Like, I think there's enough of that out there. So my approach, for better and for worse, because there's definitely a downside to it, my approach is the opposite. How much can I give? So that's my song and dance about Amachete. See, 60 slides in 2 minutes. You thought it couldn't be done. We did it. We made it through the other side.
All right. So very original presentation, a very original intro. Let's do the real demo of Machete. Looking forward to it.
Okay, let's do it. The software kind of evolved very organically, right? So like the first thing I did was I wanted to sell in Germany. And there's a great book that people should, I wonder if they sell it here. I'm sure they do. It's Amazon, right? I wonder if they sell it in Germany. You should read this book. It's called Blue Ocean Strategy. And the whole idea behind this book is that, it teaches you to like do essentially the best way to compete in a marketplace is to do something that is a little different. And the way you can do something a little different is to iterate on like one variable. And the example they used in that book that I tell everyone is like the circus. For a long time, the circus was like clowns, and it was aimed at the lower class, and it was they traveled around, it was cheap. And then a company came along and they built a different circus, which was like very stationary and expensive. And they got rid of the clown, or got rid of the animals and that kind of stuff, the expensive stuff. And that became Cirque du Soleil, and it just like kind of revitalized the marketplace, right? Similarly, I find if you do something that's like a little bit hard and people are a little afraid to do, you'll find that like there's a lot less competition. So the first marketplace I launched was Amazon. And if you go to Amazon and you type in something like Hundeleine, yeah, is that German for dog leash, Augustus? I don't speak German.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know exactly.
Okay. If you type in Hundeleine, this is back in 2015. Jungle Scout didn't have. Oh, can I say Jungle Scout? Yeah, I can say Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout didn't have any, estimates for Hundeleine, and I really wanted to like know how much a Hundeleine was selling for. So, the first thing I built was a Chrome extension, which is like what everyone builds. So, real quickly, why I love the Amachete Chrome extension. The first thing I love about it is that it automatically loads up on the sidebar here, so I can get a quick glance of all the sales for this item by day. The other thing that is cool about it, if you need more information, you can obviously expand it, and you can see kind of like the category, the price, the rank. This is the feature that I don't know if most people use, date first available. I like to look and see how new a listing is or how old. So if I see something with like 15 reviews, but it's also almost 2 years old, and I don't feel as bad as if there's like 50,000 people in the marketplace that entered like last week, right? These are kind of like entrenched listings. Another cool thing, if you look at these color indicators on the side, gold, green, and red, you can see that 4 of these are red. This is when it's shipped and sold by Amazon. Green is when it's shipped and sold by a merchant, and gold is when it's shipped and sold by a FBA person. In certain marketplaces like Amazon.com.jp, co.jp, in certain marketplaces, you can see if you go to like, let's go to sports and outdoor, you do a search for something and you'll notice that they don't have a ton of, they have a bunch of listings that are actually sold by FBA or sold by merchant. And in marketplaces like this where they're not as developed as the American market, like it's sometimes you just can look and see, oh, Amazon's selling this person's shipping this from their house, whatever. I'm just, like this item here, I have no idea what it is. But I'm willing to bet if you just, it looks like it's probably a little heavy, but because it's merchant fulfilled, if you just launch a version of this that was FBA and it was Prime, you could probably compete with that person right off the bat. In undeveloped marketplaces like Japan, there are more opportunities like that. What else does the Chrome extension do? So you can quickly see the merchant type. You can add it to your tracker. We'll get to that real quickly. Or if, say, you are looking at these and you feel like you're trying to like gauge the overall marketplace, and you feel like these two don't kind of like, you just want to look at like these leash models and not the retractable ones, what you can do is click mute on this. And what this mute button does is it takes the stats for these two retractable ones out of your overall estimates. And the overall estimates will show you the average price for the listing, the average sales, total sales, average rank, average review, number of views, total reviews, that kind of stuff. And it'll, these three things, which I think are super cool, are your settings for basically weak listings, demand spread, and overall demand. So when you log on to like Facebook, and you'll see a million people kind of posting their screenshots and saying, is this a good product? Is this a good listing? Have I hit a home run? Am I going to die on the streets? They're basically asking you to like look at these three things. On the Amachete webpage, you can log into your settings here. And you can configure what you consider to be a weak listing. And a weak listing might have, say anything that has 130 points is a weak listing. So you can say if it has fewer than 4 features, add 20 points to that. If it has fewer than 4 photos, add 40 points. If it has fewer than 50 reviews, et cetera, et cetera. And then, so when you are browsing, you can kind of like determine quickly whether or not there's what you would consider a weak listing, right? The next feature is the demand spread. Demand spread, what you don't want is a situation where all of the sales are being absorbed by one person, right? And you can kind of configure how many of the top sellers basically contribute to the overall demand of a marketplace, right? So back in the settings screen, you can look at that. I'm going to do this a different way. You can say, all right, if 80% of the sales are represented by 7 or more sellers, more than 6, then I'm going to consider that to be good. Right now, this is a demand of normal, which these settings, by the way, are marketplace specific. So right now, it means that more than 3, but fewer than 6 of the results contribute to the overall demand, right? The idea here is you don't want to enter a marketplace where just one person is eating all the sales. You'd much rather enter a marketplace where if you get on the top page, you're likely to get like a good result. And this third category is your overall demand. And again, this is it's marketplace specific, but you want to kind of, you can designate how many sales per day are you think are good enough demand, right? So you can really quickly hit a search result. I don't know any other German words. Hundeline is literally like my ace in the hole. Let's just type in Hunde and see what they recommend. Oh, I'm in Japan. They're not going to recommend anything, are they? You can type in, nope, still in Japan. I can't get out of Japan. You can type in Hunde something else. Hunde Leckerlis. What is that about? We'll find out. Oh, dog treats. Right. And you can quickly see that, there's 256 sales total per day, which is kind of like relatively normal demand for a marketplace. It's spread pretty evenly among the top results, and there's 2 weak listings based on my criteria. The last feature you can add here is a filter. So say you want something that has no more than 25 reviews and a minimum price of €10. Now when you search, you'll see a little green box that outlines the ones that meet your criteria filter-wise. And that's pretty much the jam for the extension. Any questions?
No. So basically, Amachete consists of extension and web app, right?
Yep, exactly. And unlike some platforms, you don't pay separately for the extension and then also for the web app. You pay because you want to do product research, and you can't do product research really well with just one of them. So we bundle them both together, because the question isn't how much can you take or make, it's how much can you give. That's the theme of today. So that's the Chrome extension. So a lot of times people will log in and they'll ask me questions like, how do I get started? And that's because Amachete, while being a cool software program, is really poorly documented. There's like not much tutorial or video whatsoever, because I really like making features and really hate making videos. So it's a good question. I don't always have a good answer for it, but there are basically two ways to start your research. And the first one is by using the extension. That's if you know, I want to sell like a Hundeleine, and you can like type in Hundeleine and like see how that's going. The second way to start your research is if you have no idea what you want to sell, but you have an idea of like the kind of rough criteria. That's where the browse items database comes into play. Now everyone's got a database, super cool. And you can do all the things you would think you could do. So if I wanted to go to Japan and sell, it'll reload the categories, and I wanted to sell either a shoe or kitchen product, or maybe something in sports or toy, and I have no idea what the product is, but I want it to be more than 2,000 yen, and I want it to have no more than 50 reviews. I can hit search, and then lickety split, as they say. No one says that. Lickety split, as no one says. You see a list of items. Like this lovely, it looks like a shoe polish set. 34 reviews, it's selling around 33 a day. Let's see what that looks like over here. 2,700 yen. Yeah, this is a perfectly fine product. They look like they know what they're doing. Shipping sold. Oh, no, it's merchant fulfilled. You could absolutely murder this product tomorrow just by putting together what is probably $2 worth of, no, $3 worth of stuff. Leather care kit. Yeah, this $2, $3, you could make a leather care kit, send it to Japan, and probably compete with this company pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, that's it. And then you can always do all the things you need to do. You can say, I want something that sells by a certain amount. I want to include the phrase this. I don't want to include the phrase this. I only want oversized items. I only want merchant items. I want people that aren't selling Prime. I want to show my results in, meters instead of inches or whatever, or centimeters. You can look at it in a chart if you want. You can eat it on a plane. You can eat it in a train. This is turning into green eggs and FBA. Yeah, that's a product database. You can also see that we've got all these countries that you can search through. And again, Australia, I would say give it about, I don't know, maybe a week or two from this demo Mondays, and you'll be able to search for Australia. And we'll probably be the first people to have Australia. We were the first, whatever. So that's that. So that's when you are looking for a product. Like you can bounce back and forth between the Chrome extension and the database. So once you've got a product, what most people tend to do next is to track it, right? Like they want to keep an eye on it, because the problem with estimates and BSR is that it's tracked essentially by the hour, right? Like you can check your BSR tomorrow or today, and right now it might be 4,700. The problem is that Amazon recalculates that every 60 minutes. So if you just happen to look at an item when they were running some kind of crazy promotion or something, you'll get an inaccurate information about what that item's rank is. And most, if not all, of the rank trackers out there, they check once a day and they say, this is the item's rank. Amachete, what we do, which is I think much more valuable and accurate, is we actually check the product rank every single hour. And what that does is it gives you a much more robust understanding of how that product's selling. The other cool thing about it is that when you're tracking your own products every hour, you can see, you can look at your sales history and go, oh, there was a sale at 4 p.m. That sale increased my rank, 300 BSR, and you can watch it chart, hour by hour on your product. So this works well both to spy on the competition, but also yourself. So you can see the rank day by day. We average it. And you can see what we estimated the daily sales would be based on their rank. And then this is the calculated daily average. And we do that by checking the inventory every night, right? So they went from 420 to 403 to 393 to 377, and that worked out to being about 16 sales a day. This doesn't always work. There are some people that have created kind of like limits, like the number of items you can buy at a time. And so if they only allow you to like look at 3 a day, it'll say 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. But for most items, it's fine. Another cool thing you can do here is you can like pop into this weekly view, and you can actually see that product sales. You know, this is all demo information on a chart. The inventory's down here. Well, I should probably fix that. You can see it, you know, through any period of time you want, either weeks, months, days, from the time you start tracking it, and you can see kind of like the spikes and the hills and valleys of that item's BSR after you start tracking it. That is the inventory tracker.
And Phil, how do you deal with the 999 trick if it's not working?
So the two instances where it won't work, by and large, are either A, they have a cap, right? They're like, we're only letting people do 3 a day. Or they have 1,500 in inventory, and so you can't actually like hit the ceiling of their inventory that way. Yeah. At that point, what you do, it's you know, pretty straightforward. Then you just rely more heavily on the rank, because even if they've got a cap, say this person had a cap at 3 for whatever reason, even if we don't know their sales per day, we probably know the sales of a person that has a BSR of 1684 and a person that's doing a BSR of 1686, and we can look at their sales, and that's where this estimated number comes from. Does that make sense? So The estimates are usually like right within the ballpark. So yes, this number will be wrong, essentially, because we won't know their real inventory, but this number won't ever be very, very far off.
All right.
Cool. Okay. That is the inventory ranks by. Once you've got a product you've got launched and you're like kind of like feeling good about it, you've been watching your sales, whatever. The next feature people kind of like gravitate to is the keyword tracker. Keyword tracker allows you to see where a product ranks for a particular keyword. It works in all the marketplaces. And what I like about ours is that it consolidates your keywords by product and marketplace. So if you're selling this yoga mat, which no one should do, like please, I said earlier, sell a yoga mat, please don't sell a yoga mat. But if you were to sell a yoga mat, you should keep all of your keywords. These aren't real keywords. And track it there. The cool thing about it is that you can log in and you'll see what this means. What this really means is that if someone went to Amazon and typed in red yoga mat, this will show you how many spots down the page your item showed up, right? And we check a couple times a day and we'll say, all right, so this person was 15, on average a third, and they were 13, and you can see their rank over time. The other cool thing that we do is we show you the average rank of your competitors over that same period of time. And since this is dummy data, it doesn't have this information, but most of the time you'll see your item here. So this one had an average of 14.67. If this were real data, you would see this item. So you would see where your item was ranking compared to the top 10. I don't think anyone else does that quite like this. And that's because we the best, y'all. So that's that. Those are the 3 components of the product research section. I'm supposed to pretend like I'm alone, so I won't ask you if you have any questions. But if you had any questions, you could ask. The second component of Amachete is customer feedback and communication. Basically, you're in the business of selling stuff to people. It's probably a good idea to like have some kind of system to interact with those people and keep an eye on those people. The kind of like table stakes for Amazon software is a feedback system. I'm really, really psyched about ours for a number of reasons. I can go through them real quickly. The first one is that we tell you how many orders you shipped over a period of time, how many emails were sent for those orders, how many of those emails are queued to be sent, and how many of them were opened. Soon we're going to show you exactly how many of those emails were then clicked in, and we're going to be able to tell you which links people clicked on the most in your order, but that's later. For now, we've got this. The other cool thing about this, Augustus and everyone, is that you can kind of click through here and see your email system per marketplace. You can see your different sales stats and email stats and whatever. And the other awesome thing about this is that if you want to sell and send emails to 1 million countries, you can't because there's only 10. But if you wanted to try, you could. But if you wanted to sell 10 and send 1,000 emails to all of those countries, your rate doesn't change at all because, as I stated earlier, email is insanely cheap. Like, I guess if you start selling 2,500 items a day and, you know, really like eating through $70 a month in email sent, I might talk to you about it. But until then, man, go to town, sell and send as many emails as you want because I like money, but I don't need it so much that I need to squeeze you because you happen to decide to sell in the United States and Canada. Give me $10 more. That's insane. Oh, we work with every marketplace, and I don't think they all do, which I don't know. Why not? I would, and I did. Feedback settings. So our feedback setting system is pretty cool. I keep saying that a lot. Don't worry, I'll get to some stuff where I won't be so self-congratulatory. I'll be like, you know, this feature is terrible. You should never use this. But this isn't one of those features. You should use this. This feature is not terrible. The way it works is there are 2 different models of feedback systems. You can do a universal model. I should speak more slowly because I've got plenty of time. Or an individual model. So the feedback focus, what this allows you to do is you can say, hey, I have a store and I want everyone to get the exact same emails no matter what they buy. Or in the individual mode, you can say, hey, I have a store and I want different emails for each product. And what that'll look like when you start using it, imagine you have it set per product, right? There are 3 different events that we can react to as far as sending an email. You can send an email after something gets shipped. So if I'm selling a machete, see what I did there? If I'm selling a machete, I can send an email 2 days after it was shipped. And if I have this balance board, I can send an email 3 days after it was delivered. And I can send a second one 5 days after it was delivered. All right? That's with individual settings. Maybe I don't want to think about that for each product. With the universal settings, now what happens, if I turn this on, boom, magic, they all go on. If I said I want them all to have 5 days after, I want them all to get a second email, I don't know, 20 days after because I'm a crazy person. Hey, remember that thing you bought like last July? Leave me a review. Or 20, okay, all right, sorry. I'm a professional. So that's what that's about. What else do you need to know about this? Oh, so you're probably wondering, Phil, what time is it? It's about 9:45. You might also be wondering, what's this about? This is the template chooser. We've got a few email templates built into the system. We're adding more, but this is like a nice boilerplate for your selling in the United States. Maybe you want to sell in Japan, and like me, you don't speak Japanese. Well, luckily, we had someone that does speak Japanese, I think. I actually have never had this translated, so maybe it's just gibberish. We had someone who does speak Japanese write a Japanese email sequence. We have a German one as well. But maybe you're like, you know what, Phil, this is kind of like boilerplate. I want to edit my own. You just click edit, and we make a copy of this template. And you can make your own. And the cool, I keep using that. I'll use a different word. The super cool version of this that I don't know other people do is you can see the changes live on the right hand side, so you have a very good idea of what your email will look like. Boom. You can do fun things like put the person's first name in the subject, or you can do the product name. I think this is the code for it. I should say that you don't have to know these codes. There's a little shortcut down here. So like, say, for example, I wanted to add a link to the order, boom. And there it is, link to order. If I wanted to change what that link says, I can do that here. Please. My keyboard's off to the side. That's why I'm typing all like a crazy person. Please link to to this product. Okay, please. Yeah, and that's the template editor. So you can make your own, you can edit your own templates. Cancel that. Any other thing you need to know about the feedback sequence email? Oh, right, yeah. So if you're selling in Germany, you probably know that Germany has an anti-spam regulation. You can't just send people emails because you will get fined, and that's a terrible thing. So the way to get around that is you are allowed to send someone an invoice. So what I do in Germany, because people use it for VAT regulations, is I attach an invoice to my email requesting for an email. And that way, Danke, when they purchase from me in just one email, they receive the invoice, which is totally okay by German law. And it comes with a template, which basically says, thank you for your order, has some German, has like a picture of your product, has the price and everything. And that way you can request emails in Germany without getting kind of like banned by the by the German chancellor, I suppose, without being fined. And it's just like, and the other thing that's so useful is that it minimizes the number of inbound requests you get. People will email you and say, hey, I need a VAT invoice for my order. And you're like, now it's sending it automatically. That's a cool thing we do that I don't know if anyone else does. Customer care, there's more things you can do. You can look at your customers, and we have a cool feature where, say you wanted to go in here and see, I want to know everyone that purchased more than 3 things from me. Oops. You can do that. So that's that, 3 orders. Another awesome thing we do, just patting myself on the back for 45 minutes of just patting, is email matching. Now, the way this works is you turn on your match mode and set in your criteria if you have any, and then click match selected emails and start matching. What we do then is use a complicated method that is costly, essentially, to look at the person's name, address, city, state, and zip code, and from that, find their actual email address. Now, this is insanely useful and powerful, because once you have this information, you can do other things. You can email them directly, which you obviously be careful with because it's a little weird. You can put all this information in a Facebook advertising group. So now all of a sudden you can start marketing to people that you've already sold things to before, and they won't even necessarily know how it happened. And we've all had that experience where you buy something on Amazon and then you see like an ad for it on Facebook or Instagram, and you think, oh, that's weird. The FBI's like in my house. And you're like, I hope they like my furniture. This is what this feature is about.
Do you match emails for non-US marketplaces?
No, it's US only. Good question. US only for now, but I would say by the end of this year, we will add parts of Europe. Oh, our email matching is the price is, there's some company out there that does it now. I think they charge like 14 or 12 cents to match. We charge 8 cents a match for the low plan, for the middle plan, 8 cents, 10 cents for the cheaper plan. And we only charge per match. So if you press the button and we can't find their email, there's no charge. It's literally just for hits. And we've been getting about 50 to 60% match rate. That's that. Any questions there?
No, not really.
Okay, sweet. So the third area of Amachete, we've gone through product research, customer care, communication. The third area is basically like business maintenance and monitoring. As everyone who sells on Amazon or has spoken to someone on Amazon who sells on Amazon, like there's just like a million things you have to do, and like you don't kind of want to do any of those things. It's because they can be kind of like tedious, right? Like it's like just not. It's not always the best time to like log on and check your reviews for your 13 items again and again and again. Like you don't want to necessarily do that every day. So a lot of the features in Amachete are built around automating some of these things that would otherwise take you like an eternity to do, and also like sap your brain, soul, and like whatever, spark of joy you have left in your heart out. That's much, right? So the first thing that you'll bump into when you're selling in multiple marketplaces is the fact that using the built-in using the built-in Amazon sales app, either on the web page or on mobile, you end up having to like log into like 50 different things to like check it all. We have a unified dashboard, and the dashboard's pretty cool. It'll show you your sales for the day, or you could do by week, by month, by year. You could set a custom set of days and see your sales. We'll get back to this in a second. You can see all your sales like unified. So if you sell this set of things in 3 marketplaces, you can see all the sales combined right there. You can choose the currency with which your sales are displayed in one, global currency. So if you want to see all your sales in yen, you can. But also, what's fun is you can see them broken out by marketplace. So if you're selling this sewing machine in Germany and Italy, and you want to compare those sales this way, you can do like, I did 4 and 1 in Italy. Or you can see that you did the grand total in the unified view, if that makes sense. So that's neat, as you can see it broken out. Another cool thing you can do, maybe if you want to see these stats but without certain countries, I can turn off the United Kingdom. Now, the United Kingdom sales are taken out on a report. So like maybe I'm just really curious how things are doing in Germany. I've got 2 Germanys in here because this is demo info. But yeah, I just want to see how it's doing in one marketplace. Do it like this so it actually makes sense. Now I can see my sales in Germany and focus on nothing but Germany. I can go back to this mode and see just my German sales. Or I can see Germany and the UK, and everything pops up accordingly. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, God, I need it.
And where do you change the currency?
You can do that on the settings page over here. That's what this is for. Oh, there's another thing that's just neat. Sometimes you want to show something to someone, like a screenshot, but you don't want everyone to see all your products. You can click this button, and what it does is it randomly replaces all your images with something completely else, different, so you can, and your ASINs, so you can then share your screen without like freaking out about it. The notification center is cool. You'll see you can like log in every day and see like what's happening. Like, oh, you got a payout for $42,000, or you got a new review, or you have a hijacker on one of your things, or you're running out of inventory on one of your items, or 47 people opened your emails yesterday, that kind of thing. And that's what this center is for. So you can, it's good to have as many processes be passive, like they come your way, as opposed to active, where you have to engage upon them, because maybe you just forget to check your inventory, and then one day you're out of stock, and then you're broke, penniless, and dancing for money on the streets. And I hope you got rhythm, because it's tough out there. That's the sales dashboard. Another thing we have a mobile app that does the same thing. You can kind of like see your sales, and it's for iPhones only, but you can like see your sales on a phone and carry it with you, and it gives you push notifications and all that good stuff. And it's just like another easy way to like not have to log in and out of like Amazon seller app for 40 minutes to check all your marketplaces. What else? We have an inventory dashboard. That's super useful, because guess what? You probably got inventory. And back to these yoga mats, it'll show you your inventory, your total inventory, your daily sales. And based on your sales, it'll tell you how many days you need to like reorder. And that number, obviously, say it takes your manufacturer 60 days to make and ship this. Once you update this in a real account where this would change, not in this demo account, this number would then reflect it. Cool thing about this is it actually shows you your inventory per marketplace, and it affects and you can set your product costs in here. So if you've got 348 in Germany and 57 here, you can actually go in and sort of say, hey, you know what, while I have 28 of these in my closet at home, so like don't just count the ones that are in the store. I can do that again because it's a demo account. It won't change. But you can basically account for inventory you have that is on the way, on a train, on a plane, on a bus, whatever. That's that. Oh, another cool thing I completely forgot about. You can create 2-click super URLs. So if you want to rank for the word yoga mat, it'll create a super URL for this keyword you can use for your marketing distribution. And again, so blah, 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 days to reorder, 30 to 22. You can see your Machete. I guess that's it. Is there any other cool thing about an inventory screen? No, probably not. It's not the coolest thing in the world. There we go. I was down on something. Next. Let's look at refunds. If you go to the refund screen, you can see that we have 5 items that a person purchased and then asked for a refund from Amazon and told Amazon, we're going to ship this in, and then never shipped it in. You'd be surprised how often this happens. And Amazon won't refund you this money, even though they could very mathematically calculate this and tell you, just because they don't need to. They don't have to. So what we do is we check this for you. We present this information. When we find cases where it appears that you are owed money, it'll show up in this screen. This is one of like 5 major instances where people are owed money by Amazon. We're going to add the other 4 on over the next 2 months or so, but the first one is this refunds without returns. So for most people that are selling at any clip, this feature alone pretty much pays for their subscription. You know what I mean? Like, it only takes 30 of these to, suddenly you're like, oh, well, now I'm making money with Machete. A lot of people do have the service and they charge like a 10% cut or 15% cut. Now, right now, we're not doing that because, again, I don't need money more than I need anything in the world. So I was just like, no, whatever. I'll probably add a fee just because I like a little bit of money, but I won't make it crazy. It'll never be like 15. I want 25% because I did this thing. It'll be like 5 or 10. But for right now, it's free. So that's the refund system. This isn't automated in case you have a question about it. There were automated systems in the past, and what happened is Seller Central got like fucking slammed with requests. So you get like 1,000 requests for someone like, say, give me all my money. And Amazon's like, you know what? How about we just shut you down forever? And everyone's like, you know what? You can hold on to it. So the best way to do this is to send them in batches. Like send like 3 or 4 at a time. So what we provide for you is sort of like a template. I'd like to copy and send to seller support. And then once you've sent the email, click it and we'll track and let you know whether or not you got the refund. So that's the refund system. Again, another thing that this process normally requires you to like download a sales report, download a reimbursement report, download a refund report. And if anyone wants to know how to do this for free, just email me and I'll teach you how to do it or send you a link. You don't have to pay me, $30 a month. You can do it for free. That's cool. It just takes time. It's just one of those things where it's like, well, I'd rather not spend 2 hours doing it. So if you'd rather pay me $30 a month to do it, I'll do that for you, so to speak. That's refunds. The next time-saving feature from Amachete is the review monitor. The way the review monitor works is exactly the way you think review monitor would work. It monitors your reviews. So if you have an item in here, we check every day and we keep an eye on how many reviews you have and what the average is and the total and all that good stuff. Other cool thing about it that we do that I don't think anyone else does is if you click through, you can see your reviews when they were left, the customer's name. You can actually click on a link to the actual review itself. Sometimes that's useful. And you can download them in a handy dandy CSV. You can pull this up in Excel. And you can see your reviews. You can see the customer ID, the ASIN, the title, the name, whether it was verified or not, the URL, when it was created, all that good stuff. And I think that's useful. Some people use it for kind of like text analysis of their reviews. Like maybe you want to like go through and find if there are common phrases that pop up, that kind of stuff. What do you think? Should we save it? We didn't change it. So that is a review monitor. And again, we monitor all 10 marketplaces except for Brazil. Nothing against Brazil, just no one ever asks for it. So I'm not going to make something no one wants. Well, that's yet to be seen. And what is the other thing? Oh, another thing we monitor for is hijackers. Every couple hours, log in your profile and make sure that there's not someone that's selling on your listing, which, if you're selling one item, you'll notice it because your sales will drop precipitously. You'll have been selling 10 a day and now you're selling none a day. And it's like, what the hell? Why are my machetes no longer popular? And it's not because there was suddenly just a shortage of desire for machetes, because someone bought machetes from China and sold them on your listing, and now you've got a hijacker. And if you've got one listing, you'll notice it immediately. If you've got 30, just checking that once a day is 30 minutes. Like, you'll spend half an hour every day checking to make sure you don't have a hijacker, because if you just lose a little bit of your sales, it's not as noticeable. And then 30 minutes a day adds up pretty quickly. It adds up exactly 30 minutes a day. But, so then you're looking at, what is that, 7? So like 3.5 hours a week you want to spend looking for your things, which is 150 hours a year. That seems like a crazy amount of time to spend looking at your listings just for hijackers. So if you don't want to spend 150 hours a year looking at your 30 listings for hijackers, we'll do it for you. We'll notify you immediately. We will tell you whether or not they have the buy box, whether or not they're FBA. If it's someone that you're not worried about, like say maybe you've got a partner that also sells that listing, you can choose to ignore it and you'll no longer get notifications. Or if it's an item, like you sold something on Amazon once, you sold Harry Potter book 3, and you're not getting notifications because someone else is selling Harry Potter book 3, you can choose to ignore that product altogether. We'll give you the direct contact field for that seller so you can send them an angry letter. All the good hijacker stuff. Or you could spend $20-$30 a month on another hijack system that just does that and does nothing else. That's totally it's not a good choice, but I support you in whatever choice you feel like making. It's like when your parents say, do whatever you think is right. That's what I'm telling you to do. Do whatever you think is right. Favorites, it's almost not worth going into. Basically, if you're browsing and you have an item you think you find interesting on the dashboard, you can click favorite on it. In the database, you can click favorite on it and we'll save it to your list of favorites. You can come back to it later. That's what that button does. And it's over here. Really quickly, affiliate system, it's exactly what you think it is. Basically, we don't do any marketing, which is why you probably never heard of us. Because I like to think of us as a software company first and a marketing company second. There are some people in the space that are marketing companies first and software companies second. And you can tell that because their software never changes, but their marketing is incessant. And again, it's just a choice. I get it. I get why they made that choice. I haven't made that choice yet. I can't say I won't. What I like to do is enable our users to be a marketing voice. So the people that love our software will tell people about it. And we just added this new feature where they can get paid. So basically, as an affiliate, if you tell someone about Amachete and they sign up, we get their first month subscription, you get their second month subscription. And then from that point on, we split it forever, right? It's not just like a one-time, like, here's, thanks for your $50, go, buy something shiny. If they buy a $100 plan, for as long as they're a member, you get $20 a month. That's not chump change. It's enough to buy a movie ticket, a medium Coke, and maybe that's it if you're in LA. But, I'd happily take you to the movies once and buy you a medium, maybe a large Coke here in LA. That's what that is. So that's the affiliate system. I won't, it's weird to sell yourself and then sell a person on selling yourself as well. PPC is a whole nother thing. And honestly, it's still in its infancy. It's like learning to walk and talk and all that good stuff. So I don't want to go into it now. I think also because this webinar podcast is running a little long in the tooth, I don't want to fatigue people with this super long PPC add-on. But suffice to say, I have personally tried 7 different PPC platforms. I can name them. Is it 7? PPC Scope, PPC Entourage, PPC Agility, My PPC, PPC Pal. There's another one. Ignite. What was the 7th one I tried? Celix? Okay. That's 8 maybe. I lost track. I tried a bunch of them, and they've all got, no. Almost all of them have good stuff going on. One of them has nothing good going on. I don't know why they're doing it. It's up to you to figure out which one that is. But I think I know how to make the best one, and that's because I'm a competitive bastard. But it's competition in the name of making a better product for you, the listener. So it's not mean-spirited. I love competition because I think it forces all of us to kind of like bring our A game. Like we can't just throw up a feature and call it a platform, be like, give me $100 a month. We have to actually like work really hard to like make people's lives better. So competition is great. That's sort of a non sequitur. Yeah. So anyway, point being, I've got PPC stuff coming, but in the meantime, if you want to log in, you can at the very least use the ad time. Basically, you can connect your account and you can set the time to turn your PPC on and off, so you're not wasting your ad spend by marketing at like 3 o'clock in the morning when people aren't actually buying, but they are clicking on ads.
All right, so many different features. Very universal tool is Amachete. And let's talk a little bit about the pricing. So how the price reflects different marketplaces.
All right, let's do that. I've priced it so that to encourage people to start, right? Like the product researching is $39, and it does all the research stuff. What I really, really want is for people to like be actively selling and making money. So the price jumps up as you start actually like using the email features and the refund managing and blah, blah, blah. But as it is, if you're just getting started and getting your feet wet, $39 a month. Once you are an active seller, it's $59 a month, and that is for all marketplaces, right? Like you can do product research in all 10 of them. You can do emails in all 10 of them. There's no additional fee. There's no new login. It's just $59 a month for the whole kit and caboodle. And feel free to like log in. Try to like a fun exercise, and I should have done this in the slideshow, is to try to build the same feature set using existing services. And I did this once using like Feedback Genius and Cash Cow Pro and blah, blah, blah. And it ended up working out to being about $420 a month, not counting the 10% or 15% you're paying for the refunds, to just have an equal product set. And the reason for that is because, again, I'm just maybe bad business person. Maybe I should triple the prices. But maybe it's just because I realize that it's new and it's not in the vocabulary. So it's good to kind of, it's like when you're launching a product on Amazon, you price real low to get your rank up and then you raise the price. So maybe that's what I'm doing. If you sign up today at whatever price it is, you'll keep that price forever. And as I start to get a better sense of like what this is actually worth and invariably raise the price, it'll increase and then your price will be low. Is that fear-based marketing? No, it's more like come have a party with us and keep a low price. However, because you are a friend of Augustus Kligas, am I pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, quite good.
Oh, sweet. Yes. Okay. There is a slightly better price. Boom. We will sell the active seller price for the price of the product researcher. That's $39. And as you can see with an exclamation point, it's normally $59 exclamation point. Also, the massive plan, the $99 plan, will be $79 a month. That's the savings of like, on exactly how much. That's $240 a year that goes back into your pocket by being one of Augustus's friends. Don't miss this opportunity. Just kidding. That's really gross. You can totally miss this opportunity because you know what? Your life is going to be fine. You'll be okay. You'll figure it out. But don't miss this opportunity, really, because but you're going to be fine. But don't miss this opportunity. Yeah. And as we add more and more features, your price will stay the same. New people's prices will go up. That's just the way life works.
And how people can redeem this offer? How do they get this discount?
Oh, there's a URL.
We will link this address later in the description of the video. No problem.
Okay.
Wow, great. Thanks for the offer for Demo Mondays viewers. And can you shortly share some upcoming features for Amachete?
Well, we're an hour in, and if I've proven anything is that I'm long-winded and not good at sharing anything shortly, but I'll try my best. Yeah, so, there's a point where you want to share stuff, but then you're like, I don't want to tell my competitors what I'm doing. Not that they care. Like, no one cares. I mean, some people care. I care. What's some stuff that's coming? I'm I'm making the best PPC software that's ever been made, right? That sounds so conceited. I don't actually believe that. But it's really, really good. It's super, super cool. And intuitive in a way that others are not. I'll leave it at that. That's fun. We're adding support for Australia. You'll be able to like see however many boomerangs you want to. God, is that racist? That's nationalist because it's not like Australia is a race, and I don't think they really use that many boomerangs. So support for Australia is coming soon. Adding more. I should mention that the Chrome extension doesn't have estimates for every category, just because I don't know. I didn't think people were going to sell groceries in Japan. Joke's on me. Apparently people do. So we'll be adding more categories. What else? There's some cool, fun stuff in the name of the language space. Some cool international things. The name of like translation. I won't go into too much detail, but basically if you're having a problem dealing with your products abroad because you don't know the language, we're going to help with that. What else is coming? A/B testing in emails. That's going to be fun, where you can like use 2 different subjects in your feedback system and see which one gets the most open. I think that's kind of a cool feature that no one else is doing. I haven't decided yet how to productize this, but think about first thing, doing thing you can press a button and see your competitors' backend search words. Pretty sure Amazon's going to shut that down pretty soon. So it seems a little crazy to like build a feature around that, but it's useful. It's useful in my own sales, so I figure maybe someone will want that somewhere.
So many features are coming. I hope they will be implemented soon. I know it's a lot.
Yes.
Final question, yes. So what support do you offer and how people can get in touch with Amachete's team?
Okay, so the worst way to get in touch with me is to email me. If you send an email to phil@amachete.co, I promise you, you're just going to be annoyed because it's going to land in like my wave of inbox, which is just filled with like nonsense. I mean, I'll get to it eventually, but it's not going to be, you're not going to feel good about it. You're going to have like a little bit of hatred in your heart. However, if you log into the website and click the little intercom button in the lower right-hand corner, it's like a little smiley face that now everyone is using. That pops up pretty much on a screen that I see every single day.
All right, Phil. Thanks a lot for your presentation. I hope people will enjoy Amachete, and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
All right, and good luck to you. Thank you so much for having me. I've watched all the Demo Mondays, and it's fun to be on the other side of the Demo Monday camera. Thank you for that.